What's going on, everybody, man? Welcome to The Corner, presented by the Pierce County Community Engagement Task Force, powered by Workforce Central. I am one of your hosts, Tamar Jackson, aka the Mayor of Loop City, and here's my partner in crime.
And I'm Jeff Wolf, the city manager of Loop City. So Tamar, tell us why it's so important to have this show, The Corner.
So when we talk about community, we talk about the corners, and the corner is what keeps a community together. We really felt that we wanted to take some time to leverage our partners in the community, doing great and amazing work, and actually reintroduce them to those that truly need them so they know what's out there, what's available to them, and really just leverage our partnerships within the community.
Perfect. And we know that this work can't be possible without our partners, and I have the pleasure of introducing our today's guest, Mr. Norman Brickhouse, our friend, task force member, just all around great guy, doing a lot of great work in this community. He is the director of mission services at Valeo. He's also on the Human Rights Commission. He's also the vice president of Homeownership Center of Tacoma. And more importantly, he's Kelly Blucher's husband.
So, hey guys, thanks for having me.
So Norman, first question. Tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got to where you are.
Well, gosh, first of all, I graduated college, have a degree in finance. I worked in banking, worked in the mortgage industry, but much like most of us in this field, I've always had a passion for helping people. I realize how blessed I've been. So early on in my career, I decided at the age of 50 to start my nonprofit career. So I started at Goodwill, became the manager of financial education, where I had some great training. Got training in financial coaching. Then I realized quickly as I'm doing financial coaching, you know what's boring to do? Doing financial coaching for someone that doesn't have a job. So what I did was get better at helping people with employment services, going through National Career Service Provider training, getting good with income supports, managed Center for Strong Families. And then I fell in love with this mission of this brand new agency. It was always my dream to start my own nonprofit at the age of 55. Then I realized the business aspect of having a nonprofit. It's not really what I wanted. I'm more mission services driven. So October of 2019, I came to Valeo Vocation because Sherry Jensen and at the time Mitchell Austin were there. They were participating in 253 Works Job Club. We were friends. And I fell in love with their mission. I came down here, supported them a couple of times with financial coaching, and I realized working with the homeless population or people in poverty or people displaced by COVID, it's one of the toughest things you could do. And I just wanted to be in the fight. So I fell in love with the mission of Valeo Vocation. And now here I am, director of mission services, offering services to people experiencing housing instability and just doing some great work. So it's been a labor of love, Jeff.
Right on.
Man, I love that. Hey, Norman, I always love your energy, man. And, like Jeff said earlier, we are friends. We do a lot of things in this community, but, we've always had the commonality of the community and wanting to uplift them and change how we approach the services that we give him. So when we want to look at that, what do you feel has been helpful for you? First and foremost, becoming part of the task force. And secondly, why did you even choose to partner with us in the first place? What's been that benefit being with the task force? What have you found to really just help you in the work that you do in the community?
Gosh, I figured it out early in my career. Collaboration is the key to help our clients. You saw that when Kelly did hire 253. You see that with Collaboration for a Cause. You see that with the Pierce County Housing Task Force. Well, what you guys are doing is bringing all the service providers together, not just in a meeting that lasts an hour. We get to hang out, we get to talk on the weekends. We get to talk about solving problems and not put any constraints on it. It's totally acceptable for people that have a dissension of or an opinion that differs with everyone else. What we're doing is not only establishing friendships, because I think it was you, Tamar, that said it. It's not agencies that provide services, it's the individuals within those agencies. So why would we not want to come together, recognize who's good with mental health services, who's good with addiction, who do you go to for housing, Who would you go to for training programs, employment services? What we are is stronger together. Not to mention, we have a lot of fun together. You got to admit. So it's a labor of love. I think we all recognize we're so much stronger together than we are apart.
Absolutely. And I just know that I'm starting to get to know you and Kelly, and I just appreciate everything you guys have been bringing, and just trying to figure out how to collaborate more with you guys. And speaking of that, maybe we can talk about the programs you have going on over at Valeo, and kind of give everybody an idea of what's going on there.
Sure. Okay. So Valeo Vocation, in July, we just had our 3-year anniversary. Sherry Jensen is the founder and the CEO. And the whole concept came around as she was working at Labor Ready. Then she ran the RISE program at Sound Outreach. Imagine a program where you could put people directly to work through a staffing model. We are a nonprofit staffing agency. So we have our staffing model for immediate services. We have a BFET program that does employment services, provides resource reduction or barrier reduction with resources. We also have a contract with the city. It's called our Transitional Employment Pathways. We use the acronym TEP, and that program works with the homeless community, recognizing that they're dealing with such big barriers. A lot of them don't have their I-9 verifications to even start a job. So we'll help them with that. We'll help them with housing navigation, transportation assistance, credentialing, all those things necessary to support them into full-time employment. So at Valeo Vocation, what we do is house people, employ people, give them resources. But the most important thing we do is empower you to be the best you that you can be. That was gangster.
I love it. I love it. So what would you say with the programs going on? And for me, just to ask Norman himself, how does this community benefit from what Valeo is doing every day? When you guys come in, how is the community gaining and growing from what you guys are doing? And why do they need to be involved with you guys? Why do they need to show up with you guys?
Well, first of all, let's be quite clear. Valeo does not operate in a vacuum. We have Tacoma Rescue Mission. We have Comprehensive Life Resources. We have Greater Lakes Mental Health. We have addiction services, mental health services. We partner with Associated Ministries, Goodwill of the Olympics and Rainier region, Workforce Central. We do not operate in a vacuum. What we do is leverage everyone else. We fill our niche. So why would the community benefit? As we're dealing with people in survival mode, let's just say survival mode. If you're on the street, living in a tent, you're in survival mode. And in some cases, you're not making the best decisions possible. So the community benefits from Valeo Vocation in that we're addressing some of the toughest barriers with some people that have some significant needs. So making our neighborhoods safer, making employment opportunities available to people that potentially wouldn't have them otherwise. We have successfully housed over 40 people this year. That's more than we did all of last year. What we're doing is getting better and better each and every day. So our community is stronger because livable wage jobs, people off the street, and dealing with some of these severe barriers, not to mention our TEP model, the Hire Crew program. It goes around and picks up litter abatement free of charge. It helps out with graffiti removal. So we're providing low barrier jobs to people and yet having them build the necessary skills to transition to full-time employment while cleaning up the community. It's 100% a win for everyone involved.
Love it. I love it. Now, with going on, because I steered off a little bit from one of the questions, but I'll get back on board. You mentioned a lot of partners, and we've talked about it many times, collaboration is the new inclusion. What partners do you feel may not be at the table yet, but if Norman Brickhouse had his wish list, he would love to reach out to them or have them connect with him? Who are some partners you're looking forward to connecting with?
Gosh, that's a great question. I think with Nativity House being right up the street, I think I could build a better relationship with Catholic Community Services. When we're talking about the issue that we're dealing with now, I mean, we all know the housing crisis is it's out of control. I mean, you're talking about people that are going to be displaced. You're talking about people living on the street. The true fact of the matter is there's only 600 shelter beds in Pierce County, with the predominant amount being in downtown Tacoma. Well, there's 1,500 people on the street. Those shelters are filled. We need to bring, and this is going to be game changing. Let's bring governmental agencies together. Let's bring employers together, and let's bring nonprofits. I need to work with everyone. Quite frankly, I need more jobs. I need more funding. I need more donations, and I need to get better and work with the people that make change. I figure this: if you surround yourself with the best people, you are the best. And it's not because of just me. Don't get me wrong, I'm pretty good, I'm all that. But it's the people I work with and I stand next to. It's the Tamars, the Jeff Wolfs, it's the Corbett Mosleys, the Jeff Daves, I mean, Kelly Bluchers. I mean, we could go on and on. Whenever we hang around, sometimes I look around the backyard and it's literally the who's who of nonprofit. These are the leaders of today, and we have to mentor and develop the leaders of tomorrow.
Love it.
Absolutely. Real quick, I just want to know if somebody is interested in working with Valeo or coming to get enrolled or start, is that something that has to be done by referral? Do they walk in the door on 12th and Tacoma Ave? Like, how does that part work?
You can walk in our door, or you can go to our website, ValeoVocation.org. And trust me, it's a hard word to spell. So that's VALEO, Valeo Vocation, VOCATION.org. We have a little application button on the top of the screen. You can come in the office. We are open, of course, socially distancing, providing masks, making sure it's as safe as possible. But the truth of the matter is, if you're in homeless services, people experiencing housing instability did not have the luxury of sheltering at home. People providing these services didn't have the luxury of Zoom meetings. I look at Tacoma Rescue Mission, I look at Nativity House, I look at Bethlehem Shelter, I look at the Beacon Center, I look at all these shelters, and they haven't closed down once. And truly, 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 they're the heroes of our community, because consistent testing, making sure that we are quarantining people that have corona, quite frankly, and could spread it amongst the community. We are so blessed in working with the city of Tacoma. I mean, I know there's a long way to go, but we are all on the path to making changes. And it feels good being at the table and just not complaining about stuff. How about get involved? How about try to find a solution to a problem that we have? I mean, that's a unique idea. Stop just complaining. Be part of the solution and not just complain. But complaining is fun too. Don't get me wrong. You guys know me.
No doubt, man. I know you jumped ahead. You jumped the gun. Because I was going to ask you, you know, what's your ask? What's Norman's ask of this community? And when I say community, the task force, Pierce County, you know, what is the ask of Norman Brickhouse and the work that he is doing in this community? And how do we best support Norman and Valeo Vocational in the great work they are doing? What is that ask of you?
Gosh, my ask would be to partner with me and help me do a better job at fundraising. There's so many government grants out there, and there's total restrictions on them. What I need is more unrestricted funds that I can put to a car, that I can apply for rent, that I can put as down payments. At Valeo Vocation, we do direct support. So I'm saying gas cards, bus tickets. I mean, we help people achieve a car. I mean, reliable transportation opens up your employment opportunities, gets you off the bus line. It opens up third shifts. How about housing funding? We partner with Coordinated Entry. The truth of the matter is, diversionary funds is what we use. Most people, when you apply for Coordinated Entry, I'm not sure if everyone knows this, you're going to go through a scaling system, and only the most vulnerable people seem to be served. Well, a lot of our population are ABODs, able-bodied adults without dependents. They hardly ever qualify. So we partner with TRM, Associated Ministries, Del Mar Catholic Community Services, COR, and we get diversionary funds. Valeo supports that. So what I need to do is get better, and I need help in community fundraising. It's a big ask at Valeo. It's a big ask at the Homeownership Center of Tacoma, where I'm the vice president. We need to do a better job in the community at having a joint fundraising. How about a golf tournament? How about having fun? And then have the community support us that way. Because if you ask, what do I need? I need money to hire people and do direct services.
Love that. I think a golf tournament would be fantastic. We've been talking about that for a while. Now that stuff's starting to open back up.
I'll play.
Yeah. I'm sure we could fill that out. You mentioned earlier that you got into the financial support, but then you realize it's hard to help people financially if they don't have a job. And I was just kind of reviewing the website and stuff like that. Can you talk a little bit about, once you help somebody find a job, maybe kind of what the supportive services after that, or how do you help people after the fact to kind of keep them sustainable and go through that process?
Well, let's talk about, first of all, how we set up our contracts with employers. Because literally, you work 160 hours, that's 4 weeks, 40 hours, then you're eligible to be hired by the employer. We have no conversion fee. Our definition of success at Valeo Vocation is when the employee is hired by the employer. So again, we try to make it as best as easy as possible. We try to partner with businesses that provide livable wage jobs. So as they're getting there, and it depends on what their pathway is, everybody's different. If they're in a shelter, we certainly want to talk about housing. And right now, if you realize there's only 2% of apartments available. So finding an apartment not only is expensive, it's a nightmare. God forbid you have any evictions. So we're going to address that with financial coaching, just to look at a background. We're going to look at apartments that may accept felony-friendly people. That's a huge barrier that I deal with. So we partner with those. But right now, I work with so many shared housing providers where people rent rooms, which makes it so much more affordable. Because then you're looking at anywhere from $500 to $800, $900, as opposed to $2,000 for an apartment. So after they get a job, we want to provide financial coaching. We want to talk about transportation. We want to talk about housing. We want to talk about driver's license reinstatement. All the necessary stuff that people take for granted. I mean, when you are housed, that means you have a place to have dinner with your kids, help them with their homework. How about just a place you can securely leave your stuff? When people are in shelters, there's so many people that have their wallets stolen, have their cell phones stolen, stuff we take for granted that our stuff is secure. It is not taken for granted there. And again, we do the best we can, but we are getting better each time. So just the wraparound services, Jeff, a lot of stuff we take for granted.
Thanks for that. Well, a lot of really good stuff. I think the last question I have is, how can people reach out to you? What's your contact info? What's your main form or your preferred form? Is it email, website, or just kind of walking in?
For me, it's email. And that's just Norman, Norman, Norma, and I think I spelled my name wrong. It's embarrassing. Let's cut that one out. Norman at valeovocation.org. Of course, you can reach me by phone. Our office number is 253-301-2134. Or of course, just walk in. We're on the corner of 13th and South and Tacoma Avenue South. On the same side of the street is the courthouse. I mean, we try to make it as accessible as possible. So just come down, talk with me. We can help people in a lot of different ways.
And definitely know anybody that did not catch that information, it will be on the end of this video. You will know everything you need to know to be able to contact Norman Brickhouse, get to know Valeo and all the great work that they do. We'll make sure that you have their email, that you have their website. You will not lose this information, because this information is something that you guys need in the community. So please keep a lookout for that as we start posting this video. We're going to make sure that you can get a hold of Norman himself.
100%. Give me a call. Let's get to work. We have a saying at Valeo that ending the homelessness is going to take work. It's going to take work on our part. It's going to take work on the part of the client. If you believe that you could change your life, please come talk with me. I want people that believe they can make a difference. And if you believe it, you can. That's all I need is someone that wants to work, and we'll walk hand in hand with them to make sure that happens.
Beautiful. Well, Norman, I appreciate your thought partnership, your collaboration, not only with the task force, but just with me personally, Tamar, just Workforce Central. Just really appreciate what you guys are doing in the community and what you bring, and thanks for joining us.
No problem. You guys keep doing a great job in the community. Bringing us together, not just as friends, but as partners makes a difference in Pierce County. You guys are doing incredible work. Keep up the good work.
Man, and thank you as well, Norman, for just spending time with us on the corner, man. Everybody that's out there watching, thank you so much for spending time with us. This ain't the first, it ain't the last. This is just the beginning and plenty more work to do. Like I always tell you, man, when you talk about community engagement, never forget the corners that keep that community together. This is our corner. Thank you for joining our corner, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon, man. Stay up.
I'll be good. Peace.